What's up everybody, this is Rob Schou here with Homes in Southern Maryland powered by EXP Realty. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 reasons not to move to Southern Maryland. Alright, so if this is your first time on the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button, click that little bell so you're notified every time we put out new content about living in Southern Maryland. Honestly, we love helping people move down here, so if that sounds like something you want to do, make sure you're reaching out and make sure that you let us know so we can help you get down here. Now, today we are going to talk about the 5 reasons not to move to Southern Maryland. Southern Maryland is a great place. I love it. But when I read everything online, when I go through all about the Southern Maryland stuff that people say, there are things that are drawbacks about living in Southern Maryland. I'm going to give you the 5 reasons I would say you wouldn't want to move here. But honestly, none of them to me are deal breakers, and I love living down here. So let's go ahead and get started. My first reason, and one that my wife always talks about, is everything's a drive away. So it feels like it's at least 30 minutes to everything. We live kind of down in the outer reaches of St. Mary's County. So to go anywhere, it's a 20 to 30 minute drive. And that's kind of typical a lot of places in Southern Maryland if you're in the less densely populated areas. Now, if you're in Waldorf or you're in California, Maryland, or you're in Prince Frederick or you're up in Dunkirk, it might be a little bit better for you, but be prepared to drive. This is not a walking community. You're not going to be walking out of your house for the most part and walking to shops and doing that kind of stuff. It is a drive and go places. I never have minded a car ride, and I don't mind going out and taking a little while to get to places. But that might be something that turns you off to this area. So just keep in mind, it's not a very walk-friendly area. It is a much more you need a car, you need to drive, you need to get there. So that would be my number 1 reason not to move. Number 2 is the weather. In the summers, it's hot. And not only is it hot, it's humid. So the humidity is pretty high in the summer. Now, I love the hot and humid weather. So does my wife. We love being out in the pool and being on the water. So it's definitely something that I greatly enjoy. But some people are really turned off by that and really just want to stay inside when it gets that hot and prefer that kind of crisp, clean mountain air feel. So if you're someone that really doesn't enjoy humidity, might not be the best place for you. But the good news is, after that hot, humid summer, we do go into a kind of a normal fall kind of season where it's a lot less humid and just slightly and cooler as well. So but then again, that brings me to the other side. If you're someone who loves winter, we don't get a ton of snow. Now, I will say we do get some snow when we get enough snow to keep me happy. I'm not a big snow lover, but I do like snow every once in a while. But for the most part, we're not a big snow area either. But you definitely get to see a few snowflakes a year, and most of the snow we have is not that disruptive in this area. The number 3 reason maybe you don't want to move to Southern Maryland is the cost of living. So the cost of living in Southern Maryland is higher compared to most of the nation. So if you're looking at different areas throughout the nation, you might be like, ooh, Southern Maryland, way too expensive, with Calvert County being one of the most expensive cost of livings. But it is way less expensive than other areas in Maryland. In St. Mary's County, you can find a house for around $350,000. That's the average price house. In our northern counties, especially in the capital region, you're not going to find that average house for $350,000. It's approaching that $450,000 range. So it is a higher cost of living compared to the nation, but it is a pretty friendly cost of living compared to other areas around Southern Maryland. So while the cost of living can be great, it's not that bad compared to our surrounding areas. So the 4th reason not to move to Southern Maryland, I would say, would be the commute. Like I said before, everything's 30 minutes away, and that includes jobs. The traffic isn't horrible unless you're going out from Waldorf and going to DC. You can get in that Beltway traffic in 95. But no matter where you work, again, you're going to be driving, a good bit unless you're working at Pax River and living in that Lexington Park area. But even then, you can still expect to have a little bit of traffic on that commute. I frequently go and visit, the capital region, and we go to different plays and different shops and do that kind of stuff. And even on those off days when people aren't working, I'm always shocked by the amount of traffic. I can't even imagine being in that capital region, being that central Maryland, and sitting through that traffic every day before and after work. So it is not as bad as that, but it's still something that you're going to be driving a good distance and maybe sitting in some traffic while you're commuting. So that might be one reason why you don't want to move to Southern Maryland. The final reason why you may not want to move to Southern Maryland is outdoor activities. Now, I'm spoiled because Southern Maryland has some of the greatest opportunities to use the Chesapeake Bay and the Patuxent River and Potomac River, and I love to fish, crab, water sports, all that kind of stuff. So for me, the outdoor activities are down here are great, but if you're someone like my wife who loves to hike, who loves to go outside, who loves to backpack and do that kind of stuff, there's just not that many hiking trails and that kind of thing around here. We actually go out more to Western Maryland or even into Virginia, into the Shenandoah area to do a lot of the hiking that we do, which can be a hike, which can be a drive, and it can be a little exhausting if you've just hiked all this way and then you're driving 2.5 hours, 3 hours back. So if you're someone that's really into hiking and that kind of stuff, Southern Maryland is probably not the best place for you to do outdoor activities, but it's really not too far from other areas that have great hiking trails and stuff like that. And I gotta say, it's some of the best water to recreate in Maryland by far. So those are my top 5 reasons not to move to Southern Maryland. None of them are huge deal breakers, but I just want you to be informed before you decide to move down here so you can make the best decision about where to live in Southern Maryland. Now, if you need any help or have any questions, don't hesitate to use that contact information below to reach out. And remember, if you like what you see on here, click that subscribe button, click that little bell so you're notified every time we put out new content.